I am Orthodox Jewish.
You've done tricks on Aaron Judge.
Can you teach us how to do a trick?
Ben Shapiro, Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout.
They know you're Jewish. How are they responding to that?
What? What? No. Shlomo Levinger.
Hey,
Pleasure to have you here today.
pleasure to be here.
We all know what you do. You're a celebrity, an athlete's magician, mentalist. You've done tricks on Aaron Judge, Ben Shapiro, Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout.
That's right.
But I want to know a little bit more about who you are as a person and where it all started.
So I grew up in Queens, New York. For those of you who are very unfamiliar, my name is Shlomo Levinger. I travel all around the world performing magic and mentalism for all different types of events and celebrities and athletes. That's what I do for a living. It's pretty cool. But I grew up in Queens, New York, Kew Gardens, Richmond Hill, which has, I guess, a decent sized Jewish community. I am Orthodox Jewish, which we'll definitely get into later. We'll talk about a little bit of the challenges or non-challenges, however you want to look at it, in what I do and how we do it. But I grew up in Queens, New York, Richmond Hill, Kew Gardens area. Lived there till I was about 22, 23. And then now I currently live in Far Rockaway, also bigger Jewish community. But just going back into childhood, I actually didn't start any of this until I was about 14 years old. So anything predating 14 years old is like kind of irrelevant to like what I do. But just to me as a person, I have five siblings. There's five of us. So
Brothers?
4 siblings. I have 3 brothers and a sister. My youngest brother and sister are twins. So
cool.
they're twins. And then I have an older brother. And then I have a brother right under me who actually works for me, kind of. We'll get into that too. And then the 2 youngest, boy and a girl, twins. They're 22. My brother under me is 23. My brother older than me is 29. And I'm 27.
What kind of school or community was it?
So the community is a very Orthodox community. Queens is pretty diverse in terms of like the people that live there. I think Jamaica, Queens is, I don't know if
You don't
guys know
seem
this.
so Bukharian. That's what I
Yeah,
was like.
definitely not Bukharian. I'll give you this stat, actually. There's a crazy stat. Jamaica, New York, which is literally right next to Richmond Hill where I live.
The
where
worst
I grew
train
up.
station ever.
The worst train station of all time, Jamaica Station. But Jamaica, New York is, I think if you look this up, I'm pretty sure this is accurate. You guys can tell me at home if this is accurate. Jamaica, New York is the most diverse area, I think, in the world.
In what sense?
Just Jamaica, Queens? I heard that Queens is the most
Queens,
diverse.
but then specifically in Queens, Jamaica.
What do you mean by diverse?
Like they have the most cultures and the most races in the entire world. Like any country, any place, anywhere, Jamaica, Queens.
That makes
is
a lot of
place.
sense.
It's pretty crazy if you think about it, because it's New York City, which is like the most diverse city, and then it's the area of Queens that probably just, I don't know, that's just, I guess, the most populated area. But it makes sense if you think about it. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a Jewish community presence, not in Jamaica itself, but right outside in Richmond Hill, Kew Gardens. Flushing is actually bigger, like Kew Garden Hills, Flushing, that area is a lot more Jews. But yeah, the place where I grew up it feels like an out of town small Jewish community.
Really?
In New York. I would say that's what it is if you think about it. Yeah.
And there are more older families there, right? Because I think of Flushing as being sort of younger people are living there.
Yeah, if like Kew Garden Hills, Flushing, that area gets a lot of. There's a bunch of yeshivas that filter into the younger community in those areas. Even though Kew Gardens does have a yeshiva, it doesn't translate over to like people moving there. So I would say, yeah, a lot of the people that live there their families have just been there.
That's Chavis Chaim?
No. So Chavetz Chaim is the one in Kew Garden Hills that actually filters into having like younger couples and younger families in the area. The yeshiva that's in Kew Gardens is Shar HaTorah, and it's they have a high school and a base medrash, but the base medrash only goes up until like third year. So like then they'll go to Israel, but then when they come back, they're not coming back to learn in Kew Gardens, so no one actually lives there. Got it? Makes sense.
So everybody moves out. It's like one generation.
The
and then
people
you're
that
gone.
it's not a growing community at all. Like it's not growing at all. Like it's pretty much exactly the same size all the time.
So what are the values? What's sort of like the hero image? I don't know what the right word is, but who does everyone want to be in this school? Or this community?
In Kew Gardens?
Yeah. When you're 14.
So I don't think that exists really, which I don't know. I think
There's no aspirations in school? You don't want to become an astronaut or a rabbi?
I would say it's definitely a more like yeshivish religious community. So you're definitely getting your fair share of like, you know, people wanting to learn for a long time and become a rabbi or, you know, become a rav or whatever it is. Aspirational. That's a
word.
That's a tongue twister. Aspirationally,
There's some words I just don't say. I stay away from them.
I think I'm going to start staying away from aspirationally. Aspirationally, I think that I don't know. It's a tough question to answer. I don't know that there's one answer. Maybe sports players like everybody else. I don't know, but that's not realistic. Kind of ish. Whatever. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's like. I don't know. It's a tough one. For myself personally, I just, when I was a kid, I didn't really think about it, to be honest with you. I was always definitely creative, like growing up, even before I started magic or anything to do with that. I liked creative stuff. So like I learned how to do like a handstand, and like in 7th grade, I want to learn how to ride a bike that has one wheel, you know, like a unicycle. So I just like, I don't know why.
I've never heard of a unicycle be referred that way.
Yeah. I just didn't want to say unicycle because like, I don't know.
Did you want to do something before you were 14? Was there something else you wanted to do?
Anything like specific? Not really. I don't know. I feel like I was too young to even like really think about it.
Did you play a lot of sports back then?
I did play a lot of sports. I always played a lot of sports growing up. My dad definitely brought us up in a sports household. Yeah, he's it's funny because I'm not even a fan of the same team that
I was
he's
going to ask if you follow the same teams as him.
So I am with every team I am except for baseball. So I'm a Yankee fan, but he's a Met fan. So the reason it happened was because my brother who's like a little over a year older than me, he's 29. I'm turning 28 in next month. So we're yeah, thank you. We're like 12 months apart, or 14 months apart ish. But basically, when he went to school, when he started going to school, and he was, I don't know, 6, 7 years old, whatever it is, I guess all of his friends were Yankee fans. So I just followed what he did instead of like following what my dad was, because my dad didn't like push it on us. I probably didn't even realize he was a Met fan until after I was already a Yankee fan. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't. But yeah, my brother definitely started that path.
So you're growing up in Queens.
Yeah.
In a very religious Orthodox community.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
And you love sports.
Yeah.
14, you start doing magic. What does that look like?
Look kind of weird, honestly. No, it looks. It looks.
You don't want to see that.
Yeah, have friends, guys. No, it looks like. It just, to be honest with you, like I'll jump straight into this. So, and I'm not blaming anybody here. This is not like a blaming thing. This is just the circumstances and how I coped with what I was going through at the time. And these things are so common, so it's like it is what it is. But when I was in 9th grade, when I was 14, so my parents got divorced. I started, and literally probably within a few months, that's when I started magic. So I feel like for me, it kind of jump started that like, I need to like distract myself somehow. So I was able to like jump into that, and do magic. I think that it helped me kind of not have to think about it so much, you know, because like as a kid, like when you're 13, 14 years old, like you're definitely older enough to understand what's going on, but like you're still young. You're still young, so like you can't actually, you can't understand a lot. So it's like it's a weird age. So you're trying to figure out what's going on, but like at the same time, like you're trying not to think about it. So I think magic, like, I don't know, I think it helped me a lot in the beginning, like kind of cope and deal with it. Like it was.
What do you think drew you specifically to magic? Because you could have gone like sports player route, training all the time. A lot of people will go crazy with sports.
I just felt like at the time, it's a good question. I felt like at the time, that was definitely not happening. I felt like at the time, I felt like it was something realistic. I don't know. There was like, I'm a pretty real person. Like I'm not trying to fool myself. So like if I'm doing something and this is about everything in my life, I'm like this with everything. I'm very like control. Like I need to control the situation. Like 100%. Like I feel like I have to like, and my wife tells me this all the time. She's just like, Shlomo, like you can't always be in control like of like what's going to happen at the end. Like you can't like, this literally happened this Pesach, like over Pesach, I was like stressed out about like something like specific, like with some of my content that I filmed and like, I felt like I was so anxious because I'm like, I need to talk to this guy and like, I need to figure this out and whatever. And she's like, first of all, at the end of the day, like you're not in control. Like whatever happens at the end of the day, like, first of all, it's up to God. Like you're not the one who's like making this happen or not. So first of all, even just believing that for any anxiety helps, because it's like, okay, like I could be anxious about it, but then I'm not in control of what happens. So that, first of all, is a good like anxiety helper, I would say. And then number two is like, she's right. Like, like I could send an email to this guy. I could send him a text or whatever. I could say the things that I think are going to help the situation. But like at the end of the day, like how much am I actually doing? So like I have to like be better with myself about like not feeling so much in control. But going back to what I was saying before.
Are you in control with magic?
There's a certain aspect, think about it. Like there's a certain aspect of it. Like I'm in the driver's seat here, you know, like if like, that's a very good point. Like I feel like I'm in therapy right now. It's a good point. Like I think like probably part of what it is that made me choose that was a certain sense of probably a little bit of like lower self-esteem and like feeling like this is something that's going to bring me up. Like people are going to respect me now. People are going to look at me like, whoa, look at that guy. You know, like he could do that. So there definitely is for sure some of that. And I just, I like the task of something that's like mastering something that's difficult. I think that, like I was saying before, like with everything in my life, like I need to be good at it. Like I need to, like we were talking about before, like I love golf. I love golf, and I've been blessed to do some stuff with like the biggest golf brands in the world. Callaway, they honestly recently I just went for a club fitting, and they absolutely hooked it up. Morty Weiss and Alex, these two helped me out tremendously.
For everyone who doesn't know what that is, because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Club fitting is when they just give you clubs.
Yeah.
Like,
so
really fancy clubs.
you go
That's
in
really
there,
cool.
you go to their like facility. It was in Carlsbad, California. You go in there and you sit down, or you don't sit down actually. You go into the driving range, which is like a big open space.
Like a Top
Don't know
Golf?
golf at all. Yeah, like a Top Golf, but like
I'm professionally bad at Top Golf.
and Callaway owns Top Golf, or they're the same
they
brand.
do?
So good plug there. They basically. You go there and they get you, there's like a coach, like a golf coach. And basically he takes down the metrics of your swing. So like, swing speed, how fast you swing, angle of attack, where you're hitting the ball, whatever metrics they take
Sounds
down.
very tactical.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
very
stressful.
very technical, very stressful, because you realize how bad at golf you actually, or I'm talking about for myself, but I realized how actually bad I am. He's like, yeah, these don't look good at all. Let's change some. No, he said, no, I never had formal golf lessons, to be fair. So like he did say, like, for someone who's hasn't done this on like a, on like at all ever, like professionally, or obviously not professionally, but who never actually had real training, like it's not bad. And like, I know for myself, like I get out there, like I'm serviceable, that's for sure. But yeah, he actually helped me out a lot. Like he showed me some really cool things, how to like help my game, things to change. And basically what they do is, so the club fitting, going back to that. So what they do is they take all your measurements and metrics and whatever, and they basically custom make you a set of clubs to fit your exact swing. So they basically, they'll angle things a certain way to make sure it's better for you. What, like how big the club is, how well it fits in your hand, how heavy or light it is.
What if you have a really bad swing? Do they make it better by giving you?
So it's definitely an expensive process. They did it for me just for free, which is kind of cool, but it's a pretty expensive process. So anybody who's going to do it really is generally somebody who already
Has a good swing.
has been playing for a while. Yeah, it's not the type of thing that I think a beginner would do.
You told me the number. It's
a lot.
I was mind blown.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's not cheap, but they were nice enough. The people over, fine folks at Callaway. Make sure you guys go check them out. I want more stuff. No, they were nice enough to have me down there, and I was part of one of their events. So they said that was kind of part of the deal that we made. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. So yeah, like with golf or like with anything, when I got into golf, I was so bad. I went out with my friends for the first time. I'm like, I cannot be this bad at something. So,
that gives me hope.
I picked up golf, and I was like, I got to get better at this. I got to get, and I've been doing it. I've been playing since I started. There was no breaks, no gaps, no nothing. So like when I get into something, I really, really get all into it, and like I'm fully involved, and I need to get better. So like Magic was the same thing. Like when I got into it, at first I didn't get into it thinking like, oh, this is going to be a career for me, and like this is something I can do instead of going to college, and this is something I can do as an entrepreneur or whatever. None of that, nothing. It was just
you wanted to do it.
I started as a hobby. It was something I found interesting. It was something I found cool, and I think growing up in Kew Gardens and growing up where I grew up really, really helped me with that. And I think the reason is because it has that out of town sort of like not in touch type of feel to it. There's a lot less pressure and like peer pressure or like community pressure to do things a certain way that you would have elsewhere. So
There's the magic in the air.
Yeah, I just didn't know any better, to be honest. Like I didn't have that feeling of like, oh, well, you know, what you're doing is just weird and different. I didn't have that because there was just...
Nobody told you that?
The whole community is weird and different. So like,
I was about to ask that.
I have friends doing magic and it's a little weird.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I'll be honest. Like I think that I wouldn't say the magic itself is weird. I would say it generally draws like an interesting folk. It does. It has, because it's different, and like I feel like people are just scared to like touch anything that has a certain stigma to it. So it's like the people that don't care are going to do it, and the people that maybe do care a little bit, they're not going to do it. So I kind of want to break that a little bit. I want to break that barrier a little bit, because I think one has nothing to do with the other, and I think that there's a lot of people out there that are really talented people that would definitely enjoy magic and definitely enjoy performing it and doing it.
Is the judgment like from the Jewish community or from just...
No, I think in general.
I
think this exists in general. Magic has that like, oh, he's a magician. Like that's kind of weird. Like I think that's in the world in general. I think magic has like it's still in that genre of like clown, you know what I mean? It has like that like
unicycle.
Yeah, exactly. So like that was kind of weird.
But also you're playing with social dynamics. So there's a whole level of cringe that you couldn't reach anywhere else but this. Here, it like, you know, Emma Chamberlain?
Oh yeah.
So her definition of cringe was when someone thinks they're cool, but they're painfully and like obviously not cool.
Right.
And if you're trying to walk into a situation and be an entertainer, you're telling everyone what to do, and they're just like, no, we don't want
to. It's like a false sense of cool. That's what I'm saying.
Which sounds like, it was interesting that you were saying that you look to it for, in some degree, like a sense of control. Because it sounds like if you would actually start that, and I would have assumed that when you did, you got a crushing blow from just like, no, you're not doing this. You have so little control when you're trying to control people.
I've never been the type of person to like, I don't know. I've never been the type of person to really be affected on a big level from like outside pressure. I've never been that person. I think that with this type of thing, like, yeah, maybe at first, like if I would have thought of that beforehand, I may never have started. But I feel like once I got into it, I didn't feel so much of that. And it could just be my personality. It could just be me, my character, who I am as a person. But, I kind of, and this is when I started performing, which was obviously a few years later. This wasn't right away in the beginning. Yeah.
How do you do magic without performing?
You just practice as a hobby. I mean, you're learning tricks, you're doing them on your friends and family, but you're not like...
Do they get like sick of the same tricks?
Oh yeah.
Like stop showing me magic?
100%. My brother always hated it. My older brother. He's still to this day, like, he's like, I don't want to see it. No.
Do any of your siblings let you do magic on them still? Or they're like...
Yeah, just because I'm not around them as much anymore. So, and like my wife is like, she's not sick of it, but like she's like a good critic, like, which is actually very good for me. Cause like if she told me everything was awesome, like then she just wouldn't be being honest. Like I would go out and perform it and I would be like, you said this was awesome, you know? So she'll tell me like, if I'll try something and she'll say like, okay, like, yeah, that was pretty good, or like maybe stay away from that. So that's actually very good for me. But she does like it. I think she appreciates that like I enjoy what I do, even though at times it could be challenging because I'm out of the house at nights and like there's traveling, certain things with traveling and whatever. But and for me, like I have that like energy that like I always want to be working on a project, or like I always want to be like, okay, like what are we doing next, or like what's the next project? And I think that's also important to touch on and to like look back on, because I think it's important, and this is a totally separate topic and we're going all over the place, which is great. But I think like celebrating like personal victories and like just being in the moment, which as hard as it is extremely important. I think being able to like take a second and saying, okay, this is awesome, let's celebrate, and not being like, okay, what's next? Like, I think jumping to the next thing is so quick and so easy for us to do because we want that hit of like that dopamine hit, like that we want that satisfaction of people being like, oh my God, that was crazy. Like, I can't believe, you filmed with that person or you did that with this person. Like, take a second and be like, let's just appreciate like where I'm at right now and like what I'm doing right now, where we are. And each person in their own level has that. Because
I feel like it's a huge challenge to be
otherwise
present.
we'd all be depressed, right?
Yeah.
I was super surprised about, I think it was like 4 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
We went to film magic and charity videos with Yoni Steinman. And it was the first time I met you, I think.
Yeah.
And we were filming for like half an hour, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we were going to film with Moses the jeweler.
Yeah.
And Trax, if he was going to be there.
Yeah.
And you had this combination of going there and being excited about it, but also being totally comfortable in it.
Yeah.
Which it's a hard balance to strike, because like what you were just saying, if you're in it and you've been, even before then, you filmed with Ben Shapiro, right? So it's like, is Moses the jeweler really on the same level as Shohei Ohtani and Ben Shapiro?
He's
Not
pretty
really.
cool. He's pretty cool.
Right. It depends.
He's awesome.
When it comes to content, like there's obviously different circles of what people like. So like anyone in the watch industry or anyone who's enjoyed watching that stuff will care more about that than they will about, let's say, athletes or whatever. But in a grand scheme of things, yes, 100%. Okay. Yeah.
But you seemed so excited at the same time. That's what surprised me there.
Yeah, I still love what I do. Each project is its own world and adventure. I'm not just doing the same trick for everybody and saying, okay, who's next? It's what are we doing? How are we looking at this from a different angle? What can we do creatively to come up with something that's different and custom for that person or for that group of people? Which A, keeps it not stale. B, makes it brand new and different. And then just C, it makes it more exciting for me because I say, hey, like, this is something I've never done before. Like, let's see what happens. And it is a little bit challenging because you obviously want to perform your best stuff for the people that, are going to help, promote or grow your business or your brand or whatever it is. So like I would be inclined to do the same 3 or 4 tricks every single time. And I was actually challenged by someone, another magician mentalist who I, who's doing this also on an extremely high level. And he challenged me and he said, you're doing awesome. Like, I love what you're doing. Let's see how can we take, because for a while I was doing the same, let's say 3 or 4 tricks on every famous person that I met, which is a good plan, by the way, because at the end of the day, it's really more about who's in the video than what the trick is sometimes. But he was right. He said, listen, I'm going to challenge you. I want you to come up with 3 brand new tricks that you feel like are like super strong. And the next 3 people that you work with do those 3 things.
And you're coming up with these tricks.
Yeah, he said, I want you to, well, they're not necessarily my invention, but he said, I want you to do research. I want you to find stuff that you think would be awesome. Maybe do them at a couple gigs to try to get the flow of it down, and go perform those for the next 3 people. And it's funny because it didn't even happen because that made me start looking at it so much differently. I started saying like, hey, like he's right. How do we customize each routine for each person individually. Like, how do we make this different? So now it's more about like, I think that was probably what he was trying to give over. It wasn't so much of like change what you're doing. It was more of like, look at it differently. That
Find some of the art in it. Yeah.
And I think one other thing that this guy said, I'm just not naming him just because it's not important to this. But Oz, if you're watching, this is for you.
DM him and maybe he'll tell you.
It's Oz Perlman. He's doing this on a tremendously high level. And we were talking and he told me, he said that one other thing he said was, think about it from the perspective of like, what are you giving to them? What are you offering them? Meaning, besides for like the fact that like it's cool and awesome, like what do people want to watch? Like, what do people want to see? What are you offering to the to the people or the person that you're going to? Like, what do you have to offer them? Again, besides for like that it's awesome and cool. Like, how can you make this make sense for the viewer? Like, how do you make this make sense for them?
You're saying in terms of making it more entertaining?
Entertaining, but also like, I'll give you an example. So like, let's say, I'm performing for a baseball player. So instead of doing a trick that has nothing to do with baseball, let's figure out a way to like make it make sense for the athlete. So like I'm going to give you like, meaning I'll tell the person, I want you to imagine that you're about to hit a walk-off home run in the World Series, right? So now this is relatable to them. Like, this is something that they aspire to do. So now it makes it exciting for them, and it makes it exciting for people to watch because they're excited because I'm excited. It's all connected. So, you have to build a scenario around the situation, and I think that's the answer. I never confirmed that with him, but I think that would be on target.
Sorry to interrupt just for a second, but I'm watching your iced coffee, and now it's like right at the point of no return, where the ice.
It's a sad time.
The melted ice ratio is just right there. But if we could take it back just for a second we got your childhood at this point in like a very, very basic sense. At what point did that connect to your love for sports and all these athletes or celebrities, all of that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think,
how did 14-year-old Shlomo Levinger get to be in the same room as the Astros, Yankees, everything?
Oh man,
in the locker rooms.
The answer is I don't know. That is the honest answer. No, the answer is
God, bro.
It's a few things, like a combination of a few things. Number one, I just want to give every ounce of every success that has happened in my life to God. Like to Hashem, to God. I don't know who's watching this, but we can say both, I guess.
Shout out Hashem.
Yeah, shout out to you, Hashem. I wanna first of all success to Hashem because that's it. Like, that's the answer. There's no, oh, I did this, I did that. That's off the bat. I'm not saying that to sound like I'm like, it's like I'm saying this just so I can now go into like, oh, I did this and I did that. No, I'm being completely honest. Like, that's the answer. I try to live my life like that. Sometimes it can get challenging, like that. Like I was just saying over, like on Pesach, I was super anxious about something, and like, I wasn't fully, I had to get reminded about it, but I wasn't fully, in that mindset of like, okay, I'm not in control. So I think number one, God runs the world, and like, I couldn't do anything different that would make the situation different. That's number one. But that being said, we do have to obviously do our part and, put in that hashtadlas, put in that work. And, obviously Hashem leads us in that direction. So I think that for me as a big sports fan, I always wanted to look for a way to do what I'm doing in the most kosher way possible. So there's a lot of options and a lot of routes that you can go that are not. And I know that sounds cliche, and everybody loves that I say this.
Like celebrity-filled
environments.
Niche environment.
Yeah. So I'll give you a few examples. So, and you guys know this. You guys create content on social media. I'll be very blunt about this. I'll say this straight up, and I think that this is accurate. There's a few things that do really well on social media, right? I think one of the big ones, if you're making a list, is probably having people in your videos that are not necessarily dressed appropriately or look the right way.
DJ likes to call it relationships.
Yeah. So I think a lot of
That's like the category.
I guess so. I think it's more.
It's a fantasy. It's building that fiction of.
I think it's more of just. It's just what the world wants to see, which is like sad, but that's just the reality. Like you could. If I did if I went out on the street and I performed the magic trick for some random dude, then I did the exact same video, exact same trick with a girl, I promise you that video is doing better. I promise you. Like it's just that's how the world works.
That's humans, yeah.
So I wanted to avoid that because for me and the way I live my life and the way that I am, it's just not for me. It's not what I believe in. So it is what it is. But on the flip side, I think Hashem like gave me the ability I think he gave me the ability to take what I'm doing and like push it in like a completely different direction that is just as big, but it's kosher. So
and that's why sports.
So sports is that. Sports, everyone loves sports. Not everyone, but everyone loves sports. I'll say
millions of people, at least.
Everyone loves sports. So if you have, again, same scenario. If I took a trick and I did a video with some random dude on the street, and then I did the exact same trick, the exact same video, and had a professional athlete in the video that everyone knows, which video do you think is doing better?
Yeah.
The one with the athlete, right? So it's the same scenario. It's the same exact thing. Obviously, the athlete is even probably better than what we were talking about before. And that's what people want to watch. So they want to watch people that they watch, that they look up to, that they see every day. And that's because people, when you think of an athlete, they're a little bit untouchable, kind of. Like we don't know their real.
You don't get to interact with them.
You don't get to interact with them at all, right? So any little bit of content that has anything to do with them outside of them being on the court or on the field, people eat up. People want to see. People want to get to know these people. So when you see them in a situation where, again, these people are usually the ones in control, right? So like a pitcher, he's in control of the game, or someone, a hitter, whatever it is.
Now you're in control.
But now it's like flipping it on, flipping it on its head.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So they're in a situation where they're completely out of control. People love to see that. Like they love to see the reactions, and they love to see them smile and laugh and like get totally fooled by like some little Jewish kid. Like it's pretty cool. Like people love to see that. So
that clip of Shohei Ohtani is crazy.
That did like 10 million views, by the way, at least. Like between all the platforms that it was on, between my accounts and then MLB reposted it and ESPN reposted it. Between all of that stuff, that video did literally over 10 million views, which is the craziest thing ever.
Also, the clips, like the press releases that you have, you're on like Daily Mail, you're on
so
you're on mainstream.
The newest one that I had was
new stuff. MLB
was MLB.com. Yeah, they I was out in by spring training in Arizona for the Angels. So we went down there. I've known Mike Trout for many years. I don't talk
Does
to
Mike
him.
Trout know you?
Yeah, I don't talk to him every day, but like
you guys are like DMing. Yeah.
No, like
But
if
he would recognize you.
Yeah. So when I knew him, we filmed something like five years ago that kind of like jump started the whole sports thing. But then this year we went back there and performed, because that was at the time, it was right after, it was kind of like toward-ish, like COVID-ish. So at the time, like it was just him and a couple friends. But then this time it was the whole team. So we went down there and we met back up with him, reconnected with him, and we were able to do the show for the whole team. And when I was down there with the Angels, so there was a reporter in the locker room who was at the show. And then after the show, he's like, "This was awesome. I want to write a story on it." So got like a cool little write up in MLB.com. That was pretty awesome.
Wait 1 second. Let me make sure they're.
Yeah. It was kind of glitching out before I noticed, but I think it's just the monitor. All right, how we doing so far?
I think it's great.
We're cooking?
Yeah.
All right, anything like specifically you want me to touch on?
Wait, so how did you get into the Daily Mail?
I think that was just random. So
it was like some Jewish thing. It was like a engagement situation.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to remember what it was even, to be honest, because that was actually...
I didn't see this.
Yes.
It's cool.
It was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. So I've actually proposed twice in my life. I'm kidding. No, once this was it's funny. I made
For a lot of people, it's not a joke.
No, I made sure that I made sure that I actually stayed out of it. I'll explain. Okay, it's a cool story. So you guys want to listen to this? This is a great story. So I was approached by a friend of mine, and he came over to me and shout out Yehuda Melman. He's actually a DJ. He lives in Florida somewhere.
He goes by Yehuda Melman? Or
Yeah,
a cool DJ tag?
Probably a cool DJ tag. I think DJ Yehuda maybe. I think that's probably
DJ Huda? Huda Chris?
No, not that guy. He's great too, I'm sure. What is it? DJ Yehuda? It might just be DJ Yehuda. I don't know. Whatever. So Yehuda Melman, he comes over to me and he says, hey, I'm dating this girl. I want to propose to her. I think like doing it with a magic trick would be awesome. So I was like, that's a great idea. Never done that before. Didn't tell him that. Said, never done this before.
$500.
Yeah, no, I didn't charge him, by the way. I don't think I did. I don't think so. But I thought it would be cool content. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So the plan was like this. I went down there and his plan was basically to pretend like I was out filming street magic because that's what I was doing at the time. And we happened to just bump into him, say like, oh, hey, what's up, Yehuda? Like, you guys want to see something? And then do something and then go into the proposal. And then once he proposed, there was actually 3 billboards, 3 Times Square billboards that like said, will you marry me? And I had like pictures of them. It was really cool. Yeah. So I wasn't even the coolest part of the proposal. But that being said, so we went out with like a film crew, like we were filming on the street. And then they were just like walking down the street and he's like, oh, I think that's Shlomo Levinger. Like we were friends. So he's like, I think that's my friend Shlomo Levinger. So he's like, yo, what are you doing here? So I was like, oh, yeah, we were just out filming magic, whatever. So I was like, you guys want to see something? So he's like, absolutely. So I went over to him and so we did a couple tricks, whatever. And then the plan was, so I was going to say like, okay, I told both of them, I said, I want you to think, or I told him, I said, I want you to think of any 4 cards in the deck. Any 4 cards. Okay, so any 4 of a kind, I think I said, or any 4 cards. And then, first I had her just pick 4 random cards. And I said, I don't know, it was like random cards. And I had them.
It sounds like so much acting going on for it to work as a proposal.
Yeah. So I had them, but we did a few tricks first just to like.
Was it a real trick or is it was a real plan trick?
Yeah, it was a real trick. It was a real trick. So, I thought about like doing something like not really a trick, like kind of staged, but
cringy.
No, but like it was a real trick. So what we did was, I had her pick 4 cards, 4 random cards out of the deck. And then I had him think of any 4 of a kind. And I said, these 4 random cards are going to turn into the 4 cards. Whatever you're thinking of, they're going to turn into those cards. And I basically took the 4 random cards, put them on their hands. Like they both put out their hands like this. And we put 1 card. Yeah, we put 1 card on each hand like this. And then I basically, because I feel like it would be really awkward. And then the cards, basically I had them flip over the cards and it said, will you marry me on the cards? So it was cool.
And it flipped the right way. You could read it.
Yeah, I actually made sure that it was like that. That was kind of part of, these are small details, by the way, that you have to think of. These are small, these are small details you have to think of.
And you had that same kind of trick with Shohei.
Kind of, but different. Like if you watch it, you'll see the differences. Like they both have 4 cards and they both say words on it, but a little, these were blank white cards.
Is that your handwriting, by the way?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, thank you.
How do you spend time doing that? How do you fit the whole word in the card?
That's part of what I do. People ask me what I do every day at home. That's what I'm doing.
I mean, you're not writing it when it's in your pocket?
Yeah. But basically, it said, will you marry me? And obviously it's not, will you marry me? Because it wasn't me, but it's him.
Was there some confusion in the moment?
I hope not.
Were you already married then?
No, this was years before. No, but what I did was
apparently like halachically, you can't say, will you marry me when you get engaged or else you get married on the spot if you're in public.
Yeah. Is that real?
I think so. So you have to like hint to it. Like some rabbis will be like, you have to hint to say.
I never heard of that. I'm sure it's a real thing. I just never heard of that, but it could be. No, that's probably like, I don't know a lot. I mean, it's probably something I don't know, but.
You got to check that. No.
I mean, you do have sometimes it says like, marry me, like without
question
will you.
Mark?
Could be, that's why.
Leave it open-ended.
Yeah. But you're not right. I think, right. I don't know. It's complicated. Anyways. So what I did was so this was very smart of me. This is very smart. I thought of this. I'm like, it's kind of awkward if I'm the one that's standing there with the cards, right? So I had them both hold out their hands. I put the cards there. And then I said, okay, I don't want to be anywhere near this. Like, I don't want to be anywhere near the cards to think like you changed it or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take a couple, like I took a couple steps back and I kind of went into like the shadows.
More than a couple.
And then I vanished and I was gone and that was it. No, I
fluttered your cape and you were.
Yeah, just a little smoke and I was gone. No, so we put the, I put the cards in their hands. I took a couple steps back. Like I went kind of like, I don't know, 5-6 feet back. And I was like, okay, turn over the cards. And then they turned over the cards and then they were the only ones standing there with the cards. And it said, will you marry me? So it's like kind of obvious that it's just them two. And then it was, and then I timed it so that the second they would turn the cards over, you turn around and then you see the billboard. So he basically like, so like they turned around and like you see the billboards and like
impressive.
They ran up to like, there was like a balcony across the street that you could like run up to and like they took a couple pictures, whatever. And yeah, it was really cool. And then, so I made a whole YouTube video out of it. Yeah. Made a whole YouTube video out of it, put it online, and then I had like some like media agencies like contacting me and being like, oh, this is cool. Like, can we write about it? Or actually I had a media agency reach out to me and at the time I'm like, I don't know how legit it was, but they basically take the rights to the video, which to be fair, like I think if you're big enough where you're going to make money off of it, like don't do that. But like if you have nothing to lose, like
you gave it to them?
So yeah, so what happened was, so I gave it to them and there was obviously like termination agreements like in the contract. I sent it to a lawyer, like I was smart enough to do that. And like there was termination contracts where it was like, hey, like, you know, if I want to terminate, I could always, you know, I have to let them know up to 30 days and then like whatever. So
and you could get the video back.
Yeah. There were like clauses in there that like made it like not so crazy.
So it's like you give the video, you get the clout back.
Basically.
Okay.
So I gave them the video and then they sent it to like a whole bunch of like news agencies because they had that relationship. The Daily Mail wrote up like a whole thing on it. ABC TV, there was like a show called, I don't think it exists anymore, but it was like a viral video show, like one of these like they'll talk about, like they'll watch a video and then they'll be like, oh, like they'll like talk about it. So it was on ABC, so that was cool. That's somewhere on my Instagram. You can find it probably.
And how old were you then?
I want to say 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So big jump from 14 to 21.
I have to look, but I think I was probably, I want to say, because I know it was when I was already back from Israel. Mm-hmm. So
were you doing it in Israel? Magic?
A little bit.
Like, how did you get good? Or do you think you are good now?
It's a good question. I think that just the more reps you take, like the better you get. So I think with practicing, like when I was in high school, like I was practicing all day and I was pretty good. Like I was okay. Like I wasn't as good
as a hobby, or like this is
as a hobby,
be
like
my career.
As a hobby enough to like at the point where I was like in 11th or 12th grade, I did my first show and like I was able to like kind of get over that hump a little bit. My show now is infinitely better than it was then. Just the content in the show, like the magic in the show, and then just the entertainment factor. Like I'm a million times more comfortable than I was when I started.
I saw the mic drop at the Pesach program.
What happened?
Yeah.
He did. He guessed like a name that someone was thinking of, or maybe his name. Was it his name?
No, just like a random person. Anyone in his life that he knew. Some random name.
Everybody in the room is like, they see the name, they're freaking out. Then he makes them say the name out loud. And then everybody's like, oh.
Everyone's freaking out. I was like, I think there was probably like almost 1,000 people in that room. Yeah, it was a big room.
He drops the paper with the name. Even before the guy gets to open his eyes and see that the name is on it.
Yeah.
He's just like, he already knew.
I had the name. I was like holding it up. And then like, I was like, oh, what was the name? And he said the name. And then like, I was just like, man. I was like,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did that feel risky to you at the time? Because the big showy stuff, you always run the risk of everyone just being like, whoa, what did you just do?
Yeah.
That was a bit much.
I think my angle of attack when it comes to performing is much more of like a fun atmosphere. I want to give a fun atmosphere. I don't want to be, there's a lot of people that go into like a very serious mode. That's not me. I'm very much like, let's go. Like
you're there for a good time.
Yeah. I want people to have a fun time. Because I know what I want from it. If I'm watching a show, right? I just want to have a good time. Like I want it to be fun. I want it to be enjoyable, fun, funny. So that's what I feel like I want to give over to other people. I want it to be exciting. I want it to be fun. I don't want you to be sitting there because I know there's a big stigma with magicians and mentalists. Like I don't want to get called on. Like they're going to be anxious the whole show because like they don't want to get called on and they can't enjoy it.
That's me. I hate them.
Yeah,
or like
exactly.
a comedy show.
It's the worst. So what I do is like I'll come out before the show and I'll come out and I'll say, hey guys, listen.
You get picked on, not called on.
Yeah, no, I'll tell people, I'll say straight up, I'll say, listen, like if you don't want to help out in the show, if you do not want to help out at all, like don't feel any pressure because I'm gonna call you up on stage. No, I say don't feel any pressure because
do you actually do that? You say that?
Yeah, I say that line and it gets a good laugh. But I go, thank you for laughing by the way. I basically say like if you don't want to help out at all and you just don't want to be on stage and you don't want to be part of the show and you just want to sit and watch and enjoy, 100% like you will not like. There's gonna be I'm not bringing anybody up here that has no interest in being up here. Like that's just not going to happen. So it gives people that kind of like that, like they could exhale a little bit, sit there and enjoy the show instead of being the worst. You don't want to be sitting at a show all anxious. That's not what you want.
I feel relief just hearing that you do that at your shows. That was like getting in that.
Yeah. I think for comedians, it's hard because a big part of what they do is like a big part of the crowd work, let's say, they don't have control over like who wants to be part of the show and who doesn't. It's kind of just go as you go. But I do a bunch of crowd work in my show, a bunch. And for that type of stuff, like they're not in the show. Like you're not talking, like I'm doing a lot of crowd work with the people that I bring up. So I'm like asking them questions like, oh, where are you from? Whatever. And then I'll kind of joke about that or whatever it is. And then sometimes something funny will just happen and like you have to be organic about it. But that being said, yeah, I will not engage anybody that does not want to be engaged.
So how are you deciding who to bring up on stage?
That's you know what? That's one of the most important things that I do. I think being able to look at an audience and say, hey, that person would be great, that person not so much. That's something that you just get a sense of as the more you perform. Like you know who's going to be good.
You bring the wrong person on, they're so boring. Or
it happens. Listen,
is it better if they're awkward?
Not necessarily. I think the more personality they have, actually, sometimes that could be helpful, but sometimes it could be hurtful because
the guy, are you calling on him?
Yeah, you might want to stay away from those people sometimes, but.
Is it the first row? Because I went to a comedy show. I was in the first row and got picked on like 5 times.
Dude,
like, I did not sign up for this.
Yeah, no. If you're in the first row of a comedy show, yeah, you're signing up for it. Yeah.
You're basically raising your hands.
Yeah, you're basically
saying, there's pressure to be
you're
funny.
Saying, look at my yarmulke, make fun of Jews.
That's all it was.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, you're with like just
with other Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're just like Israel.
I would have done the same thing. Like, no, I'm kidding. No, but it's 100% like, yeah, first of all, you sit in the front row of a comedy show.
Is it easier?
Game's over. That's it.
Is it easier when you perform for Jews? Do you have more to laugh about, more to joke about?
Yeah, it's more niche. That's for sure. It's more niche. So it's easier to write. It's easier to come up with jokes and stuff because it's a lot more niche. But at the same time, my show plays for everyone. So like, you know, my show is not just built for a Jewish audience. It's definitely built for everybody.
How do all these stars, the celebrities, the Ben Shapiros that you're performing in front of, aside from Ben Shapiro because he's Jewish,
but
to everyone else, like a Shohei Ohtani, he's first of all from a different culture.
Honorary Yid.
The American ones, Shohei Ohtani.
No, he's not.
You're a Jewish guy, even if you're going with a baseball cap.
Yeah,
they know you're Jewish. How are they responding to that? And how do you handle it?
You know what? I just do it. I just go in with my yarmulke.
Oh, with your yarmulke?
Yeah. I go in with my yarmulke. Sometimes like I'm wearing like a polo shirt, so like I'll have tzitzis like coming out. Like,
in one of the locker rooms, you had tzitzis on.
Yeah. So, it's kind of funny because like I don't really think about it in a sense of like they're gonna judge me. I kind of just go into it like anybody else. I think that if you just go in with that same mutual respect, like they're not going to think about it. You'd be surprised how much people don't care, which is interesting to think about because all over social media and all over, it's people caring, right? But I think in the real world and, you know, in a setting where like it's super in-house and like, I'm not like, it's not something that I'm like, coming in as like, hey, like I mean, I'm obviously like Orthodox Jewish, like it's clear, like it's not a whatever, but at the same time, I'm offering that, I'm entertaining them. I'm coming in now as the entertainer, like I'm coming in to give them a good time. It doesn't matter. Like it just doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything about the show. It's not relevant at all. And I'm just coming in as me, as myself. Like I don't think anybody cares. I've never run into a situation where I've gotten called out on it or someone made a comment. Especially in these locker rooms or whatever. I guess nowadays it's like you can't really say anything. Like people probably are scared to say anything about anything.
And it's all being recorded also, which makes it even worse. Everything you say.
People are still saying it though.
But I would get a sense of like whatever. I've never gotten that. I've only gotten interest. I've only gotten like positive interest.
That's wild. In the past 7 years, since you've been doing the more celebrity side of it, no negativity towards you.
With the athletes, no.
I mean, they're bringing you in. They know who you are. They see your social media. They see that you're outwardly Orthodox Jew.
I think it's also a trust game. I think it's a trust game. Like, I think because like, let's say I'm at an event that they're at and that's how I connect with them. So they know I know these people. It's like a very like close community. Like everyone kind of knows each other.
Why does there need to be so much trust for Magic?
I don't think it's Magic. I think it's just anybody, because people are trying to do business or take advantage of these people all day. Like that's people know they're famous, they're athletes, they're celebrities. People are always trying to, hey, like I have this company, like, oh, like, you know, like people are always trying to like get in with them. And I'm not obviously, you know, there is obviously a benefit to me, but I'm genuinely going in saying, how can I entertain these people? How can I make this a fun experience for them?
And if anything, you're a fan. You don't want
yeah, absolutely. And I think that
you love what they're doing.
I think that there's that certain trust of like I'm not trying to exploit them, right? Like, and I'm adding value to like to their team, to their friends, to their families. So it's there's nothing like, I don't know. I don't come in with like with that attitude of like, okay, what can I get out of this person? It's more of like, how can I help? Like, how can I do what I love to share these people? Yeah, there's an added bonus that like it helps my brand, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
Were you nervous to meet any specific athlete?
Yeah, the most nervous I've ever been. So this few months ago, I actually performed for the Yankees, which is pretty cool. That content is
that was the first time?
That was sick food in the video. Where did you get that from?
So the Yankee stuff?
Yeah, that's in the stadium. They have that food.
Oh, okay.
What food?
So two separate things.
Yankees
Yeah.
thing.
No, two separate things. Okay, so I'll talk about this. So yeah, I performed for the Yankees during spring training in their spring training stadium in Florida, in Tampa. And then a few weeks later, once the season started, like the first week of the season, my good friends over at Batterix, shout out.
Sponsored.
Sammy is the CEO. He hit me up and he's like, hey, I got 3 extra tickets to a suite. Do you want them? So I said, absolutely. So I took full advantage of that.
Good pitch.
It was an awesome experience. It was awesome.
Who were the other two?
So I took my brothers. Also, like, we went in like knowing like, hey, like, you know, I'm gonna have to hand these out. For those of you unfamiliar with Batterix, it's a portable charger that's disposable. So it's like a one-time use. You plug it in. My phone's charging right now. And it's like an emergency charger. You keep it in your wallet, super thin. Great product. I love it. And he made me these custom like business cards. So if you ever see me, I'll have them on me. You can have one too. Cool. So yeah, they were nice enough to get us some sweet tickets to the game. And it was a great experience. We had a lot of fun. The food was sick. Yankee Stadium kosher food is unbelievable.
That's from the stadium?
Yeah. So if you ever sit in Legends suites, like the Legends, like those are the seats all the way down in the front. They have like a whole area inside that you can go in. It's one of the probably greatest experiences in sports. They do have a whole kosher area where every night they have a menu with like steaks, lamb chops. Like every night it's a different meat, but great size. You can get as many hot dogs as you want, and they have a really good selection of kosher food. Obviously, the non-kosher food is way more extensive, but the experience, any sporting experience, that might be at the top. I don't think there's anything better than that.
This is the part of entertainment or being a creator or being in marketing at all.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize at all. And I definitely didn't realize anywhere you want to go, you have a much straighter path there by becoming a creator of some sort or working on the business side.
I agree.
Like if you wanted to go to that suite,
yeah.
how much would it cost usually?
A lot.
Probably
I don't know the numbers, but it's crazy.
not somewhere I would be able to go anytime soon.
But because
Yeah.
you
You
have
can go
something
there.
because you're helping a brand and marketing or whatever, it's a good avenue to that for sure. That's a good point. Like even the Callaway thing that we talked about, like I wouldn't be getting a club fitting worth X amount of money if I didn't do what I did. It just wouldn't happen.
And people think of it, I think, as influencers. You could get a free meal here and there. You can get a package sent to you. You can get way more than a nice hoodie sent to you as a gift to promote someone's company.
Yeah.
You can end up in a suite that costs thousands of dollars.
Yeah, social media marketing, I think, and like being an influencer or whatever, like on Instagram or whatever it is, I think for those types of things, is pretty cool. I don't know. I'm not making money from that side of things because it's just not what I'm focused on.
You're making more on the entertainment side. Right?
From gigs, from bookings, yeah. But I think if I wanted to, I guess if I wanted to push that more, I probably could. Like I think it's a lot of work. It's a full-time job. I don't disagree with anyone who says that like content creating is not. It's a full-time job, 100%. But it's challenging because it's what you guys do.
Not even as a creator necessarily, even an entertainer.
Yeah.
You get into way more place than we could get into.
Yeah, I mean
Because
it's
you're getting paid to be there also.
yeah, true,
cool part.
100%.
Would you recommend magic as a business, or is it really hard to get into?
It's a good question. I would recommend it, but I would recommend it if you already have been doing it as a hobby and you're thinking about, okay, is this something I want to try to do as a business? I would say yes.
When did you have that shift in your head?
Because
Because you started off as a hobby.
It was very gradual. I never thought up until I was doing it full time that I would be doing it full time.
You said it was realistic.
I always
What did you mean by that? Like
going back to what I was saying before. So yeah, I think it was realistic because why can't I be a successful entertainer? Not successful, I'm talking about money wise. Why can't I be what can I not? I'll talk, you know what? It's good. This is good.
It's great. You said it's realistic as a kid. And then
I'll tell you why. Because one of my big influences.
What happened there?
Is the camera still on? It's still on. Okay.
Can we turn off the fan?
Yeah, sure.
Can we get the monitor back up? I want to be able to see myself again. I like looking at myself. Hold on.
It's getting hot. It's getting hot in here or loud with this thing?
Oh, either way. You can turn it off.
Oh no, it's not recording.
I want to do a magic trick. Can you teach us how to do a magic trick?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys want to learn something? Okay.
Joe Rogan over here. Wait 1 second. I'll just ask the question in a better way.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about?
You said magic was like realistic,
Yeah.
and then you actually like followed up on that dream and you made it a reality. Like, how did that happen?
So, realistic's like an interesting word because we're talking about like all the roadblocks and things that can get in the way. For me and my 14-year-old brain, what realistic meant, I think one of the first influences that I had for magic was like, and I went down the magic rabbit hole. I think one of the first, no, I really did. And like one of the first influences that that like for me, there's a show called Penn and Teller Fool Us, where basically magicians will go on and try to fool them. And I don't know, I just felt like a certain amount of like, I think I saw one of those episodes or like one of the couple of the videos and like, I was like, this dude just did one thing that nobody else in the world could figure out. That's cool. Like nobody knows how this works. And this guy's the only person in the world that knows how this one thing works. It's a lot of power. It's pretty cool. So,
It's wild because there are only two groups of people. Either you think that's the coolest thing in the world or you're just like, okay, you did a card trick.
Or
Right.
you
I don't wanna
better
do
you
that.
better do
Right.
a trick that I can't figure out. Like that's what magic is.
Right.
So
I don't know. I just kind of.
But there are a lot of people. It's a real show. A ton of people
there's
love
a
it.
certain like. There was a certain like. The greatest magicians in the world can't figure out what this one guy did. That's like
Can you
another
figure it
level.
out?
I had no idea. I didn't know anything, and I still to this day the one trick I'm thinking about that I think I remember seeing was like this one trick that like I still don't know how. Like I don't think I know how.
do you
it
like
works.
being tricked?
Yeah, why not? It's cool.
I find it funny, but if
I don't get a lot of it anymore.
if
so
I
it's good.
know someone's trying to trick me, I have this friend who does magic tricks on me. Shout out to the friend he's gonna know. But
yeah, you can
it's-
plug his name.
Yoni,
It's his name, Ryan with Shmoni Schmeinbucks.
no,
Oh, okay.
that's the other Yoni.
Okay.
But it's like I know I'm being tricked, so it's like,
Yeah.
nah, stop, don't trick me. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. It's good, but it's like they're being.
Why is that though? Why do you feel that?
I
Not
feel,
to get too therapist on you.
it's
But
like
why do you feel
someone's deceiving me. Someone is doing something. They're doing a sleight of hand. I can't do the same sleight of hand.
that? Okay.
But I know
So
they're
what?
I know they're doing it, and I can't catch it in the moment. But I'm like, I know you're doing something.
Right.
So like, it's just I'm always seeing it with a little bit of shade, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of like skepticism.
Well, let's put that in perspective for a second.
Mhm.
Is what the person doing? Are they claiming to have superpowers? Like, is that? I'm saying no.
no, but I would wish them to have superpowers.
Okay, that's fair. But like at the end of the day, they're like, it's like, imagine, I'll give you an example. Imagine I was like a musician, not a magician, a musician. And I was like an incredible like guitar player, right? And like, I just played like this incredible guitar solo. Would that bother you?
No,
Why not?
because that's awesome.
But you can't do it,
Okay, fine.
right? So I think there's like
I still appreciate the skill. I'm not
I
throwing
think
shade on the skill.
no,
on the
100%. And I think it's very important because I think a lot of people feel like that. And I think like people just don't want to feel like tricked. Like they don't want to, they feel like deceived. They feel like someone just scammed them, which my retort to that would be my whole goal. And I think this is important for any entertainer. So if you're an entertainer out there watching this, you should think about this. I mean, don't listen to me because like, I don't know why would you listen to me, but if
Listen to him.
If you want to listen, I think this is important. You have to say, okay, how can I perform this in a way that's going to be fun for the other person? Like kind of what we were saying before, how can I perform this in a way that is not, I'm being scammed. It's more of I'm being entertained. And I think that gap and understanding what one thing is versus the other thing is very important. 'Cause I get caught up in that too sometimes. Sometimes I forget that people feel like that. And I'll be like, your cousin's name is this. And people have their guard up. And it's like, you want them to understand that I'm not reading your mind or doing a card trick because I'm trying to have power over you or whatever. I'm doing it because I want you to enjoy it. Like I want you to have as much fun as I'm having, or I want you to have as much appreciation as I did when I first saw it. So it's like, I guess differentiating between those two things are like make it or break it when it comes to being an entertainer.
Can you teach us how to do a trick?
Yeah. You guys want to learn something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do this on the fly. Why not? Can you grab me an envelope?
Yeah.
You have an envelope and a piece of paper if you don't mind.
Do we have an envelope?
No.
Okay, no envelope.
No envelope. That's okay. Get me like do you have like a pad of paper or something? Oh, that's perfect. This is
Can
perfect.
you also in it teach us more of the entertainment side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as much focus on the technical,
Here.
more like
gonna
here's
take a
what you
paper.
want.
Okay, no envelope, but we got this.
Okay. I'm gonna write down I'm gonna write something down here.
Okay.
I'm gonna write. Here we go. And I'm gonna teach this to you guys after.
The only magic trick I know is you take a deck of cards, you flip over the bottom like few cards, flip over the deck, they put their card in. Oh, it's backwards.
Yeah, that's pretty
I'm
good.
pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at it.
Okay. Let me see what we got going on over here.
A regular deck of cards.
Yeah, we got some cards.
I know there's a deck that has like the number on this is where my skepticism
yeah.
comes in. Because they make a deck. Bicycle makes a deck that's like tells you the number on the top of the card.
Only magicians are supposed to know that. No, no, it's not made by Bicycle. I mean, I guess they they produce it. But yeah, it's a magic prop.
Oh,
that
it's not bicycle.
you can't buy it in a regular store. You can only get that in like magic shops or anything.
Are you on the hiding your trade magic secrets side of it, or do you just tell people everything?
Like, that also bugs me. Tell me how you did. No. Do it again. Do it
Especially
again.
because we have Reddit now. Like we have Reddit, we have YouTube.
I think a lot of,
figure it out.
by the way, a lot of like the magic reveal videos on YouTube, unless it's a magician like giving a tutorial, I think a lot of like I think this is how he did it. And it's like one of these like creepy videos. They have, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
I have no idea.
like they'll go through like America's Got Talent performances and they'll show you like whatever.
That's a rabbit hole.
A lot of that stuff is they're right about some stuff, but like there are some stuff I've watched and like they're like, oh, if you look at, I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, sorry, but they're not always accurate. But they do get some stuff. They obviously know a little bit.
But what do you tell people the secrets?
Depends what it is. I think
The magician's code. You can't tell.
you know what's funny about the magician's code. What's funny about the magician's code is, first of all, it's all about like the integrity of the art and the craft. I think part of like the integrity of it is like it being kind of like a secret thing. I think the whole idea is that unless you don't have interest in learning it, like why does it matter? I think that's important. And I think that also it's a lot more complicated than just a one sentence explanation. So it's not necessarily that like I wouldn't want to explain something. It's just that I'm not going to sit here and give you a whole rundown or a whole like sheer on like, here's how this one thing works, because it's more than just like, oh, I flipped it over. Like it's more than.
But if I said I have an hour and you said
Yeah.
I have an hour too,
and you want to sit down and talk about it, sure, we could talk about it.
Interesting.
Because that shows me that you have enough interest to actually appreciate it. Because I'm not just going to say something just for the sake of saying something. We'll talk about it if you appreciate it. Why not? That's like
Some people have a reason why not. They'll say the whole integrity spiel. It's like that's
yeah, but
You have to read
what's
the
that
book.
line?
You have to read the
though?
book from 100 years
don't
ago. to
know.
learn
But
the
what's
trick.
that line? What's that integrity? Meaning, why shouldn't you be able to have a conversation with me if it's something that you appreciate? Like if you really genuinely said, "Hey, I love magic. I really want to understand how this could happen," and like on a genuine level, not just because you want to know.
But
Why
even if
does
I
that-
just wanted to know,
So if you just wanted to know, just because you felt like, oh, I just really want to know,
who gave you this power that you're like, the rule is I'm not supposed to tell you?
the internet? No.
And I'm
The
like,
rule-
just tell me.
It's a good question. I don't really have a full answer to that. I've gotten in trouble with that a little bit too. Not in trouble, like
What, for giving away?
Yeah, I put out a video where like I kind of like talked about like I taught a certain trick that had like, well, there's a few things. Sometimes there's like copyright stuff. Like there's stuff that people created and spent
It's
time
IP?
working on. Like no, it's not real copyright, but like if like let's say
It's a part of a trick.
no, like let's say I produced this product or like I came up with this method. So like what gives you the right to share it with other people? Like that's my product. Like,
That I hear.
right.
Yeah.
So that's number one off the bat. Okay. Number two is like if something doesn't necessarily have a creator and author and it's something that's just been around for hundreds of years, there's a little bit more freedom to like share it and tell it or whatever. So if I'm like, so I put out a video where like I did this one video where like I explained like how to put a card through a glass window. And it's like a whole elaborate thing. You have another person behind it. It's a whole thing. And I put it out there because I thought like, oh, this is going to be something that like people like who wouldn't appreciate knowing how this works. Like this is my thought process was, hey, what is magic? Like what is the beauty of magic? And I think the beauty of magic is kind of like appreciating like the moving pieces and like how it creates like the story or how it creates this feeling of like, whoa, that's crazy, right? Like that reaction.
It's very personal.
Yeah. So I think that like I'll tell you why I say I thought, but I thought at the time, I'm like, hey, putting something out there and sharing kind of the behind the scenes of like how this one thing works, I feel like people would appreciate that and like, kind of give that same wow factor, right?
Yeah.
So I put it out there and I think people appreciate it. People liked it. People liked it a lot.
I would love it as a skeptic,
Yeah.
seeing how the trick is done.
People liked it. It was very relatable. People were like, okay, this is kind of cool that he's sharing this idea. But I ran into a handful of people that were like,
Were they magicians?
like why why do you ruin the secret? And I'm like, what? I'm like, you don't want to know? They're like, no, I don't want to know. Like, I really genuinely don't want to know. And then also, there was like a couple magicians like who like, I don't know, that got really upset, and I was like, okay, I don't want to deal with any of this. These guys are stupid. Like,
It's like telling a kid that the movies aren't real.
kind of.
Santa's not real.
Right, you don't want to know that as a kid. So some people do, maybe, I don't know.
They taught me that right out of the womb with the keep on.
Yeah, they're like, by the way, you're never gonna have to deal with this guy ever in your life.
There's the trick with the glasses, and you put like a string underneath, like a fishing wire. So I saw that trick and I was so wowed. This was like so cool to me. It was magical.
Yeah,
You showed me the YouTube video.
Yeah.
I'm like, it kind of made it cooler, not gonna lie, knowing how it was actually done, and then seeing him do it on people and seeing their reaction.
them not realize how it works.
But I'm like,
Right.
I know how it works.
So you feel like a magician a little bit.
Yeah, but you don't have to
is
do
a
any of the
magician
work.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right. Technically, I guess.
I know the trickery. So
Yeah.
that's why I would want to know like how a trick works.
So a lot of magicians get into magic for that exact reason. I personally, that wasn't my, like, I didn't care about magic before I got into it. Like, there wasn't like I loved magic and then I was like, okay, let me get into this. It happened to be at the right time. It came to me at the right time in my life. Like, it was a perfect timing for me to be able to get into something that I started to enjoy and something that I felt like was a challenge for me.
I tried. I had the books. I tried doing it. It was too hard for me.
Yeah,
I gave
it's
up.
definitely not easy. I think there's a right way to, meaning like there's so much out there now, especially on YouTube. Like, there's too much. It's so hard to filter through. But like, if you're able to like start with, let's say, like self-working card tricks, and then
What does that mean?
there are a lot of card tricks that are just mathematical, like
Oh,
just works.
I don't like those. Because it feels like you're just spitbacking somebody else's material on me.
Right, but some of them are pretty good. Some of them are really good, and they're really like actually pretty cool.
It's more impressive that you remembered the whole trick.
Yeah, 100%. And there were times where like I learned tricks with moves that I didn't even know how to do yet. And like I would do it and I didn't. So you have to realize, okay, now I have to learn this move, that move, that move, and that move to do that one trick. So you work the next 3 weeks to a month to learn all those moves, and then finally you can do that one trick. It's a good feeling. So I think that was a lot of like the learning process and the growing process.
Are we going to demystify a trick today?
Yeah, we're gonna do it right now. So
Awesome.
I'm gonna, you know what?
Let me just double check everything's recording.
I'm just looking at the monitor right now. So these cards, how's like the red look in the camera? Is there a glare there, or does it look good?
No, it looks great.
Looks good.
See some from so far away. I want to get TV.
Right. Do you think like maybe like a blue would look better? You think that would look better? Like a blue? Like if we did like a whole blue deck, you think that would be cool? Would that be cool if we did that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we'll stay with the blue then.
No. How did you change from the red to the blue?
I mean they're all blue. So,
What?
yeah.
We're trying to set up the camera, and then he just changed it from red to
I don't know if
blue.
you can see that.
And it's all blue, but it was red, and you have one.
Oh wait, can you see that?
Here's one
Wait,
deck of
I might have
cards.
just messed that up.
Yeah, I saw it.
All right, wait, hold on. Let's get that better. We'll cut that. Yeah, they're all blue. There you go.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What's up?
I did see something, but even
It's
so,
kinda-
it's
all right,
very
yeah,
cool.
We got this one red card here. We'll throw that out for now.
There's only one red card, and you made the whole deck look red.
What happened?
Oh, never mind.
What happened?
There's only nothing.
Oh,
Nothing happened.
okay.
My bad.
I'll put this away.
What?
It's just it's one. Don't worry. It's okay. Yeah.
That's fun.
Anyway, so what were we talking about? I wrote something down here. I'm not going to show you what that is just yet.
Okay.
I'm going to teach you guys a trick, okay? But we're going to do it first. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to leave this here. Put my phone here. Is this in frame? Like, can everyone see? Like,
Yeah.
I want to kind of move this stuff though, because I want it to be. Put it over here.
I can't tell when you're in like doing the trick mode and versus like setting up for the trick.
There's no setup. It's just it is what it is. Like, it's not. There. We'll leave that there on the side. Deck of cards.
Okay.
Which I don't have.
Give those a shuffle.
That's number one.
As best as you can.
Let's see your shuffle.
Give them a good shuffle. Make sure I can't know the
Getting
order of those
exposed
cards.
over here. I don't know how to shuffle.
He's gonna do it well.
Look at this. With the glasses blocking, they can't see.
It's a hard
With the glasses.
position. the mic in front of you.
Up.
Close enough. Close enough. We'll give you credit for that.
Happens to be
Partial credit.
Can you show me how to shuffle first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just gotta
I bend all the cards when I try to do that.
shuffling. You do
Whoa.
one of those.
What's the trick?
You just do. I mean, that doesn't shuffle it, but you can do like one of these like fancy
What?
like cuts, which also doesn't shuffle it.
Can you rate my shuffle?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I feel like I'm so splitting.
What
the
would you rate
cards,
your own shuffle first?
It's something like.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
Okay,
That was good.
Yeah,
That was
it's good enough for mixing up the cards.
Honestly, this is the best shuffle here.
can you get it back into the deck really
Shuffle
quickly?
it, give it a little wash there on the table.
Yep.
Just use the paper.
Good enough. All right. Give those a good like wash there. All right. Yep. Cool. We'll gather these up.
I have a tissue.
There you go. We'll gather these up. Here we go. All right. So here we're going to square these all up. And now I want you to make every decision here, okay? So give them one more cut. Like cut the card one more time. So that way we know I can't control the order or whatever it is. Cool. And I want you to do this. I'm going to be hands off here. I want you to take the cards right here.
Can I cut it again?
Yeah, sure. Whatever you want. As many times as you want. Take the cards. And I want you
Guys,
to start whenever you're ready.
Bending the rules.
Start. I just want you to start. No, take the cards. And I want you to do it. I want you just to start like throwing cards down on the table into one pile here. Yeah, let's do it like here maybe so everyone can see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Doesn't matter. Right here. Yeah. And just start chucking down cards. And whenever you want, you can stop. So you can keep going as much as you want or as little as you want. It's up to you. Completely your decision. Yep.
Going right there?
Right there?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm so sure.
Get rid of the rest of the cards. Remember how I said I wrote something down on this pad?
Yeah.
You could have went one card less, one card more. And you know what? I want you to turn. I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to make sure I want you to turn over the pad. Show everyone what it says.
It says you will stop at the 4 of hearts.
You will
Can they
stop
see it
at the 4 of hearts. Get a little close-up shot of that. That's all right.
4 of hearts.
Here, I'll hold it.
Now we're not focused.
Oh, is this it?
You will stop at. They could see that. You can stop at the 4 of hearts. Do me a favor. We're good.
We're good.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
I want you to turn over. Got a little slid, but I want you to turn over that top card. Yeah. I want you to look at it. You could have stopped anywhere in the world. Let's take a look.
Dang.
4 of hearts.
That's exactly the 4 of hearts. And these are all 4 of hearts. No, they're not. These are, you could have stopped anywhere. Look at the next card. Look at the next card.
That's so cool.
I don't know why my reaction is disappointment. I'm like, I got.
Yeah. Be honest.
happened.
Like, be honest. You have any idea how that works?
No.
You have any idea how that works?
How that works?
Take your best guess. Be honest. Take your best guess. Okay, that's nothing. Okay. Best guess. Be honest. Honest.
I would guess you're influencing when I stop.
No.
No. Okay. So let me walk you guys through this.
You had to put the card there somehow.
Some people watching, if you guys are watching, some of you will have picked up on this 100%.
Tucked it in.
You had to put the card there. There's no way that you could
So
tell.
I'll
what
show
to
you.
stop.
Hold the card out before. No, there had to be 52, but then you.
Okay, so here's how it goes. I have you guys shuffle the cards. What I don't tell you is this. These cards get mixed, whatever it is. When I wrote down this prediction, I genuinely wrote, you will stop at the 4 of hearts. That's what I wrote. When you gave me back the deck, so I actually quickly looked for the 4 of hearts, and I was able to move it to the top of the deck. Okay. Once the card is on the top, so, and I want you guys at home to practice this. What you're doing is this, you write, you will stop at the 4 of hearts. And then this is face down, by the way. Okay, so this is face down. So what I'm doing while I'm talking is I take my thumb and I push the card off like this. And then with my other hand underneath the pad, I steal it. Okay, so it's sitting right there the whole time, 4 of hearts. Okay, and I take this and I put it right here. Okay, so I'm putting this on the edge of the table, but now that card is there, so I can pick up both together. Okay, so that's there. You can pick it up. Doesn't matter.
much could go wrong.
Yeah. Then I have you deal the cards, and I say to throw them down. And I tell you to throw them down on purpose, so it's not like a neat pile. Because if you did this in front of you, it would be a little bit more neat, right? But I'm telling you to throw them down, so you're throwing down one card at a time. Let's say you wanted to stop there, yeah. These go away. I pick these up. I say, you know what? I want you to turn over the prediction.
What?
As you do that, you toss
so
it.
smooth.
I
Look,
knew it had to
this.
be placed there.
They read this,
But how? I would never have thought that.
and then boom.
Dude,
magic.
Also-
do you feel good about yourself right now?
I
Do
would-
you feel happy?
I feel
No.
tricked.
I feel so happy.
I feel
Good.
tricked.
Good.
But I would never have thought that. I
Yeah.
knew that. Like, how did you get the card?
It's really
there?
outside the box, honestly.
But even at the end of it, there are like 10 cards over here that you could have considered the top. I could have been like, I'm gonna grab that one.
Sure, I guess. I mean,
And you're
did
like,
slide a
yeah,
little
pick
bit.
that one.
It did slide a little bit, but like, let's say in this scenario, let's say the pile looked more like this, and then I would just, this is here. So when I grab it, I say, I don't even want to touch it. You touch it. Boom. And by the way, this pad is a little bit big, but what I would do is I would generally use like an envelope, like a small envelope. So what I would do is it wouldn't even cover the whole pile. It would literally just be like boom, and it would look like I'm just. You want to do it, and you want to make it look like it's not. Even,
not hiding
It's not
anything.
important. You want it to be like, you know what? I don't even want to touch anything. I want you to look at it. Take the.
I didn't even think about why you asked for the pad of paper before.
Take
I guess
it
it was to write it.
So yeah. So there's one thing about magic also is that nothing is extra. So like nothing is not important. So like yeah, like the pad, super important. Yeah.
There's so much sleight of hand in there though. Because as you're taking this out, first of all, to not be looking at it.
And to
as
be
you're
smooth
taking
about
And
it.
you have two angles. I'm here, he's there, and
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
Right.
If this tilts up a drop, you're kind of done.
Wait, let's just do that. Hold on.
Bright
Let's
red.
do it. Ready for this?
Whoa. ASMR.
Nice. Wait, let's do it. Let's do it.
That's good. Not that one.
Whoosh.
Yeah, you can do like a.
It's pretty
Nice.
good.
It's nice.
I would buy that sound effect for like $10
Yeah.
For
just
what?
to have. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have it in the
You
arsenal.
know what? Name a
So
card.
clean.
Two of clubs.
Why two clubs?
I don't even know what a clubs looks like.
You know
That's not
what
the
a clubs
space.
is?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And what card would you pick?
The Queen of Diamonds.
Queen of Diamonds. Okay. And you said two of clubs?
Clubs, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get the cards in one cut. Here we go. Ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm going to try it. You said what card?
Queen of Diamonds.
Queen of Diamonds. Put out a finger like this.
Like this?
Face down, yeah.
Okay.
And just, as I go through, just touch the back. Here, just touch the back of one. Doesn't matter. Take it out.
Wait, I feel like you gave me that one, but
What card do you say?
two clubs.
Turn it over. Two clubs. Okay, fine, but maybe
So
I fed
good.
it to you. Maybe.
Yeah.
So what card did you say?
Queen of Diamonds.
And by the way, all the cards are completely different. Like I want you guys to confirm this is not.
I
like,
know you didn't
true.
feed it to
Like
me.
it's not the same.
Maybe you did feed it to me,
But maybe I did feed it to you. It's possible, right?
but I also
It's
chose the
possible.
card. I chose it.
You did choose it, but maybe I fed it to you. So this time I want you to just be 100% certain. Just be 100% certain that like I'm not feeding it to you. Okay.
Okay.
And you said what card? And we'll leave
Queen
you
of
to-
Diamonds.
Queen of Diamonds. Try this. Queen of Diamonds. You said yes. Okay. Yeah. Don't let me feed it to you. You ready?
Okay.
Don't let me feed
Deal.
it to you. Wait, ready? Put
It's
it
so
on a finger,
quiet. It's so
like
intense.
this. You ready?
I did the same thing.
Ready? Here you go. Go ahead. Take any card you want. Any card.
No.
If that's the Queen of Diamonds. What card?
No, it's
Wait, what
not.
is it?
It's two the club.
Wait.
What? Whoa.
Wait, hold on. That's your two. If that's your two, there's one card
I
here.
thought you messed up.
No.
Turn it over.
No. What the hell? That's wild. I thought you ruined the trick.
Sorry.
I thought you ruined it. What? What?
How do you do it though?
That's wild.
By the way, if you think about it, if you break that down a little bit,
Did you know he was gonna go with the top card?
I don't know.
You couldn't have fed him.
Maybe.
You couldn't have, what? You can't feed the top card.
you literally could have touched any card.
Yeah. The misdirect though, that was awesome.
What?
Because there was a second there where I was like, oh, got him.
But it was the two
didn't have
clubs.
it.
That was still very cool.
Do you
that's
have
the
which
queen
one
of
did you
two.
do on Ben Shapiro or Otani?
Oh, so with Ben Shapiro is a cool story. So I was at an event for Hatzalah. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Hatzalah, it's a volunteer ambulance service, best in the nation. And they did a charity event. And he lives in the community. He was in Boca. He lives in Boca. So they hired me to come be an entertainer there. And he was just at the event. So I went over to him. I said, hey, my name is Shlomo. I'm the entertainer. And he's like, oh, no way. He's like, I love magic. So could not have been a nicer guy, by the way. Like literally super nice. He was there with his wife. And And after, like, towards the end of the event, once I finished, first I showed him like a trick or two and he loved it. And then towards the end of the event, they were still hanging out, and it was kind of the end. And I just sat down with them, and I probably sat with them for like a good 30 minutes and showed him a bunch of stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was him, his wife, and then a couple other their friends, and we were just sitting there just doing this. And he told me he loves magic, and you would think he would be the type of person to be like, oh, I think whatever, because he's so technical and like whatever, but he just was sitting there and loving every second of it.
This was so much
super
fun.
into it. Yeah,
This was crazy.
yeah.
Were there any tricks that Ben Shapiro was like, do this one again?
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly what he told me, but he
Do you hate
said,
when people say that?
sometimes I just don't like to repeat the same trick because there's like a certain element of like misdirection. Now they're going to be looking for something specific, so then it goes against, it goes to my disadvantage. But sometimes if someone says something, I'll do it again, but like I'll double down, so I'll do it like in a different way. Like if you asked me to do this one again,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do this exact thing again. I would kind of say like, hey, this time I want you to look for it. Okay, so like here, like I don't know, here, like let's go with something random here if I can. I don't know what's here, but we'll go like, let's say name any number in the deck. Forget the suit for a second.
Out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. 4.
4, like black or red?
Let's go red.
Red. Okay. So the red 4. Okay. Red 4. Can you picture both red 4s in your head?
Yeah.
You can. Hearts, diamonds. You see them both there?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Keep that image in your mind. Good. We'll get back to that in a second.
Too much seltzer.
Yeah, it's all right. Here's what we'll try though, because I feel like the red 4s at the end of the day should mean absolutely nothing. I think we used the 4 of hearts before, right? Is that maybe that's why you thought of it? Who knows?
I don't know.
Could be. But here's what we're gonna do. We have your 2 and your queen, right? So you want to do this or you want to do this? You do it. All right. Put your finger, put your hand like this.
Like this?
Yeah, but this time we're gonna do this in a way where like I don't like again like
I'm doing the picking thing or the just putting my hand out?
Literally, you just do this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the 2. What are you holding?
The 2, you said?
Yeah. What are you holding?
I feel like it's a black card.
Yeah, the 2 of clubs, right? These were your cards from before.
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
These were your cards from before.
Yeah,
So 2
yeah,
of clubs. Put your finger like this.
Okay.
Like this. Yeah, like a fist. Make a fist. But yeah, perfect. What are you holding?
2 clubs.
Good. 2 of clubs. That was your card from before, yes?
DJ, can you confirm?
And then
I think so.
DJ, your card from before was the queen of diamonds, yes? Double check. Make sure it's the 2.
I can check?
Yeah, you could check. Okay, still the 2. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm hiding from you.
That's the queen of diamonds. I'm going to switch them now like this, okay? Now I'm
Okay.
going to switch them back, but a lot faster. You ready?
Okay.
So I'm going to do this. The move looks like that. So I'm going to do that. It's going to switch. It didn't switch yet, but it's going to. You ready?
What?
So here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. It got stuck a little bit without looking.
Okay.
Without looking. Do you think there's any way in the world? That
Not
I
a
could have changed
chance,
it?
dude.
Didn't change.
My thumb.
Perfect. Okay. Good.
Okay,
You're doing
fine.
good. Here we go.
Okay.
One more time. Done. That
No.
time. If I have the queen now and you have the 2 without looking, do you think that would be awesome?
That would be so awesome.
That'd be sick, right? There's no way in the world that I could have made those change.
Okay.
Which one do you think is the 2? Which one do you think is the queen?
Queen.
Queen here, 2 here. So you think I really did change it? And you were looking for the switch, right?
I was looking for it.
Even if you're looking for the switch.
I didn't see anything.
Wait, I was holding the 2.
We'll
though.
turn them both over. It's fine. So we'll see where they are. Turn them over. Yeah, sorry. That's the red 4s. That's the red 4s from earlier.
I was convinced that you messed up. I'm like, there's no way. That's the queen. That's the 2.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wasn't going easy on you.
Good. But that's the whole thing about it. No, so here's the thing about
What?
magic. Like,
Were there ever 3 cards in my hand?
who knows? I don't know. No, there was never 3 cards here. There's always 2 cards. My job is to, be able to switch them without you noticing. Give
That's
you a
so
false
cool.
sense of reality, which is kind of what bothers you, which is what you were saying. But
My
I totally
finger,
understand. Yeah, it's like,
my
dang
finger
it.
and thumb were.
I have no clue what's going on.
Right. The thing is, though, what I was saying before, like, it's not me versus you. It's just like, I could see that being like, okay, like, hey, now I'm better than you, but it's just not. It's just not what it is.
This was cool.
It's awesome. It's fun. It's good.
I think that only happens if the person watching it is like, I'm going to be better than the magician.
Right,
and
right,
then they're
right.
like, oh.
Yeah.
No, because a lot of magicians
got
come
me.
out with this like, ooh, I'm the magician. You know, like I'm
Also,
I'm awesome. Like, you know,
The way
or
you
people-
did the trick, I didn't know when the trick was happening. I don't
Right.
know if the trick went right.
you don't
or
even know
badly.
where I'm going with it. You have
Yeah.
no idea, right?
It could be anything. And
Like
then
there can be a card in your pocket right now. You have no clue.
no,
How
there's
cool
not.
would that be?
There's not.
Imagine there was. Now he's worried. Now he's
No,
nervous.
there isn't. Right? No.
I don't know, man.
DJ, check your pockets.
Now you don't even know where to look anymore. It's like what? But yeah, so that's like, and there's a lot of magic, and then there's also like the mentalism side, which could even be worse. It's like it's like you feel a little bit more violated. It's like a little bit more like whoa.
Yeah.
But the mentalism stuff is interesting. Like you're basically telling people things that they're thinking, right? So like let's say we were talking about before, we were talking about like sports, like athletes that like, you know, like that I've performed for or whatever it is. And then obviously like we were talking about like how obviously I'm clearly Jewish. Do you know like Jewish athletes at all?
I'm not the best athlete,
Okay,
sport
but
kind
like,
of guy.
do you have
but
one in your mind? Like, can you
Yeah,
think of
yeah,
one?
yeah,
Do you have one
yeah.
in your mind? Yeah, like
I
I want you
got
to like you have one in your mind. Like you're able to focus on it. Okay, and like you never told me who this person was ever. Like I know we're sitting down at a podcast, but I didn't come to you before and say, "Hey, think of this person
I don't know his
specifically."
last name 100%. I could say you're wrong, but
Okay, but like if I read your mind now and tell you who it is, you'll know. Like you have someone you're thinking of. Anyone?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, I'll try this. And you never told anybody. This is just in your mind. You never said this out loud or anything like that. Okay.
I think you might know who I'm thinking of.
Is this person you told me?
You guys work together, so it could be that you know. But
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
He probably knows, but should I change it?
You want? It's up to you.
Ooh,
Change it.
change it.
Whatever you like. Anything in the world.
Ooh.
You know what? We'll do both. So look at me.
Yeah.
We'll do this first, and then you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me.
I'm so glad I'm not you right now.
I'm gonna go. Okay, this could be. There's a lot of Jewish athletes out there. I know I saw Harrison Bader, who's a baseball player, just commit to Team Israel, which is pretty cool. Shout out Harrison. Shout out Max Manus on his podcast. He has a pretty cool podcast. But here's what we'll do.
Okay.
Do me a favor.
This is so scary.
Put out your hand in front of you like this. Now I want you to imagine that you're holding the sports card for this player. Okay. So this person, whoever this athlete is, they have a sports.
This is my mitzvah card.
Yeah, it has a picture of them, this athlete, whatever they are playing, whatever sport it is. It says their name on it, whatever. I want you to look at it. Okay. Then I want you to start imagining what the picture would look like. I want you to start imagining the name on the bottom, first name, last name, what that would look like, the colors of the card, all the little different details. Good. And I want you to start taking that card, looking at it, and bring it closer and closer and closer to your face. Okay. Bring it all the way up. Bring it all the way up. You can go under the mic if you'd like.
This is like you smack my face.
Imagine we were going there. No, just bring it all the way up. Bring it all the way up till you're almost by your face, almost by your nose. Imagine you're looking at the card. You're focused on it. You're focused on it. Good. Keep going. Good. Good.
Can I even see this close? Okay.
Close your eyes. I have something here.
I could hear you so clearly with the headphones. So
He's like an inch away from your face right now.
I'm holding back like every emotion. If you get this, I'm gonna be puzzled.
Done. I even put the pen down. It's gone.
I open.
Yeah. Open your eyes. Put down your hand. I wrote something down here.
I need to hold on to the table.
Question for you. Okay, no more questions. I'm already committed.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Should I show the camera? Should I show them first?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll show them first. So you guys close your eyes. I'm going to show, you close your eyes too. Yeah, I'm going to show everybody here. Okay, I'm going to do that. We can probably edit. We can zoom in on this way. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, now good. I showed them. You guys can come back. Ready? On the count of 3. You're going to say it out loud. 1, 2, 3. Who is it?
BYG, Jake Retzloff.
I think.
What? What? No. No.
That is.
No.
There you
It's
go.
2 people.
Yeah, the BY Jew.
Just 2 names. You got both of them.
Yeah.
I hate those.
You know what?
Yeah, that's the best.
It's kind of like I want you to be right. I'm living through like the potential shame and embarrassment of getting the wrong name. I'm holding on. I'm nervous for you.
Oh man,
And
that's
then
awesome.
you made me feel like you didn't get it right.
Yeah, I like to do a little like.
Why did you do
hesitation.
that? It's
Builds the
teasing.
suspense. It's good.
It's very
builds
good.
the suspense.
It's very good.
But yeah,
man.
this could be like, I think, that's a fun one. But like, if you want to, let's say you want to change your mind, or you want to think of somebody completely different. So, literally, I'm just trying to get a good like grip and feel for like what it is that you're thinking. I can't tell you how this is done. It's pretty not so easy.
What in the world does the hand thing have to do with this? I felt like the biggest dummy.
No, it's it allows you to.
I was hyper focusing on the name.
It allows you to do that. I'm not going to say how it works. There's a lot of performance techniques that are helpful with these things to make it, more entertaining and play better. The actual method itself is actually pretty phenomenal. I'm not going to lie. There's certain things that people will never understand, and that's okay. But yeah, it's not like I don't have any like superpower or whatever. It's just a skill that you can literally learn. Anybody can learn it. 100%.
There's a certain uneasiness, like a really deep uneasiness that you get, or at least I get from talking to a mentalist.
Yeah.
Magicians don't do it as much.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, the code of don't lie to me is broken so easily.
Yeah.
And you live in this world where you can just tell someone whatever you want.
So let me ask you a question. What would you say the difference in your mind, in the way that you think about things? What would you say the difference was between a magician and a mentalist? What's the difference?
The difference is the claim they're making.
Okay.
It feels like one is, let's agree that I could do things that aren't real naturally.
Yeah.
But I have supernatural powers.
Okay.
Sure. The other is I can be inside of your head.
Okay. What if I said I was a mentalist and then I told you that I'm not actually inside your head? How would that make you feel?
I would feel better.
Okay, good. That's it. It's that simple.
No, but I know
I have
that
no
part.
superpowers. I'm
It's-
not in your head. I can't tell you things about you that are creepy and weird, and I can't tell you the things that you don't want me to know.
He has X-ray vision.
I can only tell you the things that you want me to know. And that's all I'll say, but I can only tell you the things that you want me to know. I can't tell you. I'm not actually looking in your head. Obviously, there's a way. I have to be able to get the information from your mind, it looks like. And again, I'm not getting into the details of that, but I will say, and I'm being completely honest here, in the same way we were talking about before, how a magic trick feels like this super deceptive, mentalism and magic, and I'll say this, and the mentalists are going to hate me for saying this. Okay.
Ooh.
Sorry guys. Mentalists and magicians are the same. It's the same skill.
I agree.
It's the same.
I know somebody out here is gonna. I know somebody's gonna take that hard.
It's the same techniques. It's the same. Everything is the same. Now, the one difference is how you're giving that over.
But that's everything.
Yeah.
What do you
The
mean
reality
by that?
you
What do you mean by
create.
that?
I think mentalists tend to just focus on like, the mind reading type of performance where like, they're like, this is, looking at your facial expressions and I'm telling you that
Are
because
you?
you blinked your eye twice. No, of course not. Like, I'm just being honest. But there's a certain, I will say that there are times that, like, I'll give you an example of how I used psychology before. So, like, I'll be honest, like, you really could have touched any card. You could have. You really could have. But by me saying, and this is going to make you feel worse, by the way.
Oof.
But by me saying,
Predictable.
you can touch any card, I'm 90% sure you're going to touch the top card.
But what about the 10%?
Let's say he wouldn't have touched that card and he would have touched a different card. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would have just went in a completely different direction. Meaning I would have said, he would have pulled out a random card and been like, oh, that's so annoying that you missed. But you know why you missed? Because the card was never even there to begin with. Turn over that card. Right? That's the same trick.
Yeah.
Right? That just makes it, the fact that he actually pulled the two made it so much better. But the trick still works without you pulling the two. Right? Okay. So just let's just get that out of the way for a second.
Were you excited to
did
see
make
the
me
two?
feel
Oh,
worse.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm ecstatic when you touch that card. Are you kidding me? But here's the thing.
But
The thing is,
your expression was like disappointment of like him choosing the wrong card.
yeah, because
So it made me feel like the trick went wrong.
I'm not going to show
is
you that my
crazy.
excitement in my brain that I'm dancing that he touched the top card,
crazy.
but it makes it better for sure. But yeah, 90% of the people, when you say, okay, make me not let you force it, their brain goes to, okay, obviously the top card is out of the question, right? That's just where everyone's brain goes. So me knowing that as an entertainer and me knowing that as a magician and mentalist really makes it seem like real magic, right? So those are little psychological things that, yeah, that does play into it. But like by me saying like, you know, count to 10 and then saying, oh, you stopped at, your eye twitched when you said number 8. Like, we're not taking any chances. We're not taking any chances. We need it to work. So we're not like, let's be honest, like just sorry to all the, like if you could do that for real, like why are you using it for entertainment? Like what's the purpose of that, right? Like if you could do that for real,
Work for the government.
go make a ton of money doing something legitimate for whoever. Go do it. Right? If I could tell you, you know, like there are plenty of criminals, let's say, that they bring in. I was talking to a legitimate police officer about, like a chief of police, and I think this was in Muncie actually. I was talking to him about this, and I was saying, like, he was saying, like, I did a show, and I do in my show, I do like a phone password. I get a phone password. So he's like, dude, like we have times where like we'll bring in criminals and like we can't get into their phone and we can't get certain pieces of evidence or whatever. He's like, can you, is this something you can do? And like, I had to be like, you know, so it's like, I think part of
It's
people
crazy.
feeling like
what
that.
What are you doing then? What are you actually doing?
So I'm not going to like get into it too much because I think that again, there's that integrity part of it of like, I'm not going to ruin everyone's career right now.
Can I find this on YouTube?
Versions of it, sure. Like you probably won't find the good versions, but certain versions or certain ideas for sure. But yeah, it's like whatever the method is, however I'm getting that information.
Honestly, ask ChatGPT.
It's all just a performance. And like, listen, people can come after me. I'm just saying it how it is, which I don't think ruins the art at all. Like, I think it makes it better, honestly.
I think that's all of entertainment. Look at movies.
Yeah.
Like, we know Hollywood is all fake.
Right.
It's on sets. We see the sets. We see
No,
the actors.
100%. You know it's fake, yet you're still entertained by it, for sure.
But you could there's a part of your brain somehow.
Look at
turn off.
WWE wrestling. Look how many fans they have. Why? That's so dumb. Like, you know it's fake.
It's
like, why-
ridiculous.
right? Like, it's so dumb. Like, why do they have so many fans even though they know it's fake? Oh yeah, we're good.
I think there are other things like the Costco guys.
Yeah.
That we don't. There's something else with the WWE. People don't think it's real. It's just like
It's super entertaining.
that is so entertaining. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
So I think
but
magic is the same thing. I don't think people should be claiming that it's real.
the kid eating the chicken bake and saying like,
Yeah.
I'm giving it 3 big booms."
Yeah.
The animation
It's just
ones are
fun.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. They're great. I think they're awesome.
They're Jewish.
Are they really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Everyone big. Like the Pauls are also Jewish.
Yeah, they had the
Yossi Farrow's video. So that.
no, that guy's next level. Can we
They
talk about
came out
Yossi for a
as
second?
Jewish. Huh?
Can we talk about Yossi for a second?
Yeah.
The guy is absolutely next level. The guy is unstoppable. He's an unstoppable force. Can I say that?
Yeah. Filmed with him
Oh yeah?
by CT and Shabbaton.
He's
That's
a content
awesome.
machine.
Yeah, he's an unstoppable force. The guy is just nonstop, like no shame in the world.
Even on Shabbos.
at all.
No cameras. He was doing the same stuff.
Like what? Like
Just being him. He was just being Yossi Farrow.
the guy's a networking machine.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Good for him.
There's
Good for you,
a
Yossi.
certain degree for all creators that people just don't get that it's not even a game to them.
Yeah.
It's not something they put on. They genuinely love entertaining people.
Yeah.
And for me, it's hard to believe, but I know you seem like an entertainer.
I love it.
You get a kick out of whatever it is, satisfaction.
I'm a people's person. I have this. This is a big problem. Like I have this thing where like I always want to talk to everybody, and I always want to know like everything about everybody, and like I want to get into conversations with everybody, pick people's brains. Like, and it's honestly sometimes could be really like if I'm on vacation with my wife and like we're just trying to like I just had a busy season, thank God, and like we're going on vacation and whatever. I have to in my head be like, okay, I can't talk to everyone for an hour.
Did you speak to the guy in the elevator on the way up?
No.
Is there a dark side to it?
I totally, that went over my head. I actually didn't, but like, I'm that type of guy that'll be like, oh, hey.
He
Like,
seemed interesting.
100, like I'll talk to anybody. No, like literally I was we
Shout
were
out
flying to
elevator
Israel.
guy.
We were flying to Israel.
Yeah.
And we were in the airport by the gate, and like, it was probably like, we weren't boarding for like another hour. And I'm standing by the gate, and I'm just like schmoozing with like this like dentist from Bar Park for literally like an hour. And then my wife like is like, hello. Like, I love my wife. I'm not like, I'm so used to just like talking to random people. Like
It's fun.
yeah.
Do you think there's a dark side to it? I know in social media, you get a certain dopamine kick, even not even as a user, but as a creator of it. You see all these people reacting to it. Might even be more potent than the creator, than the user side.
Way bigger.
So
huge.
what you're doing, you have in-person affirmation from people.
100%.
You can get the biggest reactions.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an addictive quality to it?
100%.
Where you can't, if you're sitting in a room, you're like, I could go out on the street right now and get a massive reaction from someone.
I never thought about it like that, but yeah, 100%. I think like, that's why I love like going out and filming content. Cause like, you have the reaction, but then you have it recorded and you can go put it out and other people can see it. So it's like an extra
The gift
layer.
that keeps on giving.
Yeah. 100%. I think it's awesome.
One last question.
Yeah.
If all your followers were sitting in one room, you've been in big rooms before with a lot of people, but everybody who you've impacted in one room, what would you tell them?
Anybody I've impacted? Ever?
Yeah, everybody, people that know you.
Like people just on social media or like anyone in my life?
Anyone in your life.
What would I tell them? Ooh, it's a deep question.
Banger for the last one.
First of all, I'd say thank you guys because appreciate the love. Yeah, I would say like, you know, the fact that like I am the person today because of all the experiences that I've been through with a lot of you, or maybe never even met some of you, but the emotions or the feelings that I feel on a daily basis with my work, and why I do this. I think overall, I'm trying to elevate people and give people something to be happy about. I think it's like, sounds like super cliche, but like at the end of the day, like why am I, besides for myself, like why am I actually putting out content? Like why do I care what people think? Like, I don't know. I just want people to enjoy it. I want people to enjoy a kosher outlet. I think that's very important because otherwise if I didn't care about that, I would just do whatever and just try to get clicks and views. I think it's important to do things within the parameters of what you believe in. And if you do that, you will see a lot of bracha and a lot of growth in what you do. I think going outside of what is the right thing to do is it's a lose-lose because I don't think, and this is a realization that I came to recently. I don't think the way God works is like give and take. I know it's not the way God works. It's not, there's no such thing as like, okay, I'm going to daven this week because I need you to do this for me. It's not a transactional relationship. It's not what it is. So I don't think I can say this factually. I can't say that, hey, because I'm doing this, I'm seeing bracha in the same area. I can't say that because I don't know how God works. I can't answer that question. But what I will say is that doing the right thing, and especially in business, and especially in the entertainment industry and in the content industry, and making sure what you're putting out there is kosher for everybody, will go a long way in the success of what you're doing. I think that as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, even if it's not 100% for the right reasons, I have personal reasons too. Like I have, obviously what we were talking about earlier, like, but like I have certain biases and certain things that I'm doing for myself, that are what do you call it? That that are selfish. But that being said, as long as part of what you're doing, or some of what you're doing is for a good cause or for a good reason, and because you believe in it, and you're doing things the right way, and you're not. I find myself. I'm not perfect. I find myself being like, how many people are actually going to see this, or like it's one time. Like, no, you got to be strong. You got to say, look, this is what I do. I do this. I don't do that, and draw that line and know where you stand, and don't waver on that. And when you do that, you'll be able to see how impactful that actually is, because that's what makes you genuine. If you're just doing things just because that's what works and that's what people want to see and whatever, you're not being yourself. You're just doing what everybody else is doing. So I think part of the process of content is a lot of times is copying other people. And we were talking about this earlier off camera. But I think part of it is also doing it in your own way. So it's like you can take an idea from something, but saying, how can I do that in the most me way possible? And taking that and just attacking it, and from whatever angle you find necessary. So going back to what you were saying before, I think if I was looking at a room in front of me with all the people in my life that I've performed for, or that are influenced by the things that I'm doing, I would just say I hope that I was able to, give you some sort of satisfaction, in a real way, and like really like for a second impact your life. And that's it. That's pretty much it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was your dose of positive energy.
I don't want to dilute that.
Yeah, no. I think it's a real thought. I really do. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, I know if we're still doing podcasts, but something that DJ does is like, let's do something the right way. And let's not, there are ways of getting more views, like what you were saying.
Yeah.
There are ways of being more vain. Yeah. But let's do it the right way.
Right.
Because there is a way. Yeah,
I think taking the shortcuts are not necessarily going to help in the long run. I think it's a short-term answer for a long-term problem. I don't think it's a real way to be organic about it. I also, part of what I'm talking about is, let's say, like with me, with like, filming magic and who's in the videos, and, what situations I want to put myself in. If I know like, hey, doing this is going to probably not going to land me in the best situation, like maybe I shouldn't do that. Or maybe like, editing my, even if it's unavoidable, but like, let's say when I edit, content for YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, knowing that I have a somewhat, like, part of my audience is a very religious audience, I think it's on me to be in a place to, it's definitely on me to be in a place to not make them see something that they don't want to see, even if it's for a split second. Like, that's on me. So, I just think it's super, super important. I don't think there's any, like, I think that's my job. My job is to say, hey, this is something that I enjoy. This is something I want to do, but how can I do this to where I'm not doing it at the expense of other people? And I think that's that balance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you guys.